Here we go. I think the Maiev Tyrande needs to be addressed from Amethyst. I think that composition was too good. It was too impressive. I think
specifically the Maiev is what needs to go. Like,
but even I don't even think that they need to ban the heroes per se. I think the Maiev was good and the Tyrande was good, but they need to draft a composition that can deal with it, right? Or at least have ways that they can draft. There we go. It gets banned. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is probably an Ana.
And we're first pick here, right? So if we don't ban the Ana, that could also be a...
Oh, there you go. The Chan gets banned. Just the nice respect bans coming out from both teams. Makes me think that maybe the first game where we saw the, like, Urel ban and, like, Kel'Thas, it was like, maybe these teams don't know each other as well as they thought they did.
Who are you banning here?
If I am Amethyst here, I think I am banning... I think I'm banning Ana.
The thing is, we get first pick here, right? So
yeah, but I think if we get first pick, we're looking for a tank, not for our healer. I think they've shown that they played... who's their support? They played Oriole in the first game and Alex in the second game. And while the Alex wasn't quite what we wanted it to be,
they're not pigeonholed.
I think mostly it was because of the draft, right? Not because of the Alex play was bad.
So we have Ana going through the first draft here, so we'll see if either of these teams can play her.
Yeah, this is definitely the first time she's made it all the way through. And I mean, also keep in mind, she's not as good of a hero as she was 2 days ago.
That's true.
24 hours ago. So yeah. I'm a little bit sad we don't get to see the Chan again. I really like that hero. Like, Jaina is the first pick hero. I'm surprised. She fits the map well, right? She rotates fast, she clears the camps, she has a good early game.
Tons of damage on the point.
Yeah. And I mean, they played it game 1 too. We know that it can be impactful. But I wonder if we'll see the same composition, and we don't. They're going back to what they played game 1. Both teams going back to what they played game 1.
I guess now they're like, this panda's out of the way. We can play
yeah, we can actually play this composition now. Thrall gets to be a hero.
And their Thrall was good though. Remember, he kept up on the lane really well as far as like
definitely
into a losing matchup. He even got the point a couple of times.
Very much agreed. And the ETC again. ETC is the hero that I thought was going to be the first pick this draft.
This is such an old
This is an old HOTS comp. ETC, Malfurion, Jaina. Granted, Malfurion's a completely different hero.
That being said, still super scary.
Very scary. Very scary. I mean, there's some damage and CC already on this side of Amethyst, and pretty good early game heroes if I'm being honest. Malthael ban, that seems questionable. I feel like if I'm Amethyst and I see that Malthael ban, I'm really concerned. Like, I mean, granted, I don't know Amethyst's hero pool that well, so maybe they just have a godlike Malthael player, but I don't think Malthael's that good in the early game on Volskaya. I don't think he's particularly good into Johanna and Thrall. So maybe there's something up their sleeve that they just want to make sure Malthael can't be played. And the Ana gets banned, finally. It's like the latest Ana's ever seen a draft. At least in the last couple months.
They played Rhaegar, the first one, and then they played...
Tyrande. Too.
And honestly, Tyrande's still not bad here right now.
It's not. The Tyrande is fine. I do worry her ability to sustain over a long period of time is a little bit bad. But the Falstad Arthas, that is a beefy composition.
Honestly, even something like an Anduin wouldn't be horrible right now. There's not a ton of interrupt for Result right now. There's ETC, and that's pretty much it.
That's true. I don't think Anduin necessarily has the ability to heal up the quick damage from Jaina. But he's definitely okay. Vala, Leoric.
Old HOTS comp.
This is the old HOT. I mean, Leo's kind of not, but this is a lot of beta heroes.
Yeah.
So Leoric's probably solo laning into Thrall. Probably one of the few matchups that Leoric actually loses pretty hard. But what is this healer going to be? I think it'll be the Rhaegar. Alex Straza. Interesting. Now this composition that that Amethyst has much worse into Alexstrasza than RKR's composition into Amethyst last game. I don't think they have the means to even come close to dealing with Alexstrasza, with the exception of maybe Leoric. ETC is going to get melted by Falstad and Thrall before he can come anywhere close to that hero.
That being said, if they play it right, the way that this objective works is that the second Alexstrasza pops Dragon, they can just choose to say later, like, and then just come back in.
I agree with you. They can just walk away. But keep in mind that, you know, there's an Arthas, there's the Thrall, there's the Johanna. Even, like...
It's like at what cost do you walk away?
The way I see it, Reborn Knights has the Falstad Gust. They have the Alexstrasza, which is basically a disengaged tool for all intents and purposes. And they have Arthas, Johanna, and Thrall for their, like, melee heroes with CC and lockdown.
They're taking the fights they want.
Exactly. RKR gets to decide when they want to fight. I don't think that Amethyst can. With the exception of, like, Entomb, right?
Or, like, Mosh. But even then...
But even Mosh isn't going to come anywhere close to this composition. They have the Falstad Gust.
Honestly, you might just want to take the stage dive here.
Yep. And I'm kind of lagging a little bit, but I think we're okay. Let's turn off the webcam before the chat yells at us again.
The battle begins.
You might not have Thrall for Crash Lightning on object. Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually very curious to see what the Soul Leaner will be for Reborn Knights. Here we go. I think the early game probably just goes to Amethyst because of the Jaina Vala. It's just too much damage. I don't think the damage for Falstad or Thrall is quite there yet.
No level 1 on Alex yet.
Yeah, that is a little interesting. But again, this is kind of the same composition that Amethyst was drafting in the first game. They're going to rotate pretty heavily with the ETC Jaina for the globes. Just trying to get that done. Looks like they're soul lining on the bot lane, which seems very weird to me. Yeah. ETC maybe getting a little bit too greedy, checking that bush. But he's okay. Turrets are up, and neither team has even made a look towards the top.
I guess that rotation to the bottom as far as the solo lane is going down, that makes it super awkward to do that, right?
It does. And I mean, that's why I think it's weird seeing the solo lane on the bottom lane on this map. I think one of the... Amethyst doing a good job of getting the turret. And I mean, this is what I was saying when I was talking about them playing on Dragonshire. It felt like they knew how to play the map, at least in terms of like how you rotate on it in the early game and just like going through those motions. Amethyst had a better job of that, and already they've picked up their turret earlier than RKR has. Yeah, he's gonna need some help. Leora kind of sniffed it out. There's not gonna be much you can do about it. But knowing that Falstad pretty much has to back here, get some heals. But yeah, going back to what I was saying. Even just like capping that turret, you know, what is it, like 20 seconds before Reborn Knights did is such a huge deal because now they have the ability to retake that turret during the first objective. And
or even just to rotate top like that
to the healing camp, exactly. And I mean, that's so big. And it looks like Amethyst clearly knows what they're doing on this map. Which is probably why they picked it.
And maybe that was their answer too, as far as like the dragon, right? Because they say, well, we're gonna get that camp, and now it's something we don't care as much about.
Yeah, and I mean, dragon wasn't even up, right?
Yeah.
We've redesigned our trigger protection.
Doing a good job. They already have 7 globes, 8 globes for ETC, 6 for Jaina. So they're doing a good job making sure they get that. And like here's what I'm saying: the objective's up in 15 seconds, a minute on Amethyst camp, and a minute and a half on Reborn Knights. Both teams doing the siege camp. Pretty standard. And just from the heal camp that was on top lane, Amethyst has about a quarter of a level lead at this point.
getting on this point early is just so important.
It's important for both teams. I think giving Alex Straza the point early is a big mistake. And so Amethyst is doing a good job of making sure that that doesn't happen and getting their damage in. So they got Falstad and Johanna clearing the top lane, and it looks like Reborn Knights is kind of content to give this up for a while. At least let the camp do some pushing. Johanna's going to come down, leave Falstad up there to make use of his global. And now it looks like they're probably going to fight over this objective. I think this is where Amethyst needs to say, our camp is up right now. Let's rotate to our camp, get a second turret, and then we can look for a fight. But obviously that's also a little scary because then maybe Alex Straza gets to Dragon when they want to take that fight, and they might not be able to get back on the point effectively. But they do make the rotation to the turret, and it looks like RKR has kind of anticipated that, but they're a little bit too late. They're going to make it out, and here is where the game will be decided. I wholeheartedly think that this is the team fight that decides the rest of the game. Turrets need to get placed sooner rather than later. There's ET here, there's Games.
You should be seeing Dragon here.
Yep, the Dragon should come out, and there it does. I mean, they're doing a good job. I don't think the full duration of the Dragon will secure them the entire objective, so Amethyst doing a good job of walking away. They still have one turret. They have plenty of time left. The Dragon's almost up. Granted, there's still a turret on point, but they're going to tap up, heal up, try and get back on that point. ETC's going to come in.
They still have a heal camp. They still have a
places
turret.
his turret. They do still have the heal camp. I kind of forgot about that, to be honest. Looking for an engage here. It's a good stun on the Arthas. Will he make it out? No, he won't, but ETC's low as well. Johanna's going to take some damage, and this is exactly what I was talking about. This was 2 turrets against 1 turret. 2 and a healing camp, I guess. But I do wholeheartedly think that the turrets is what determined that fight.
Well, I don't know. Just the healing that ETC got, like just on that one brief little walk.
That's true. Nuts. Yeah.
Obviously, the Malfurion having something to do with that.
Malfurion is definitely doing his job. Strangling Lions at level 4. Disappointed there's no broccoli. But I mean, all is not lost. I do think that even if the turrets weren't there for the camps weren't there for Amethyst, I do think that the early game was just better, minus like the Dragon. I do think once they get that Falstad Dust, it's going to be a lot harder. Because I mean, if you think back to that fight, it plays out the exact same way, except they have a Falstad Gust to delay the objective just a little bit longer.
It goes their way.
It goes
not just that, we're going to have 2 Alex Straza ults now moving forward.
That's very true, yeah. And the ults on the side of Amethyst are not quite as impactful. I mean, Vala's ult, I mean, it does some damage, you know. Mosh Pit, however, will be pretty impactful. I think
maybe this camp here is a mistake, because I think the other 2 are just going to get to walk out. That being said, they're so close to 10.
They're close to 10. I think that's why. They're just going to their turret, making sure they get that done as soon as possible so they can have it up as soon as possible. But yeah, I think Amethyst not taking this heal camp was a huge mistake. I think maybe they tried to rotate bottom for
a fight
over the turret, but they didn't get it. And now I think RKR is going to be able to get 10 before making this engage. The damage is there. Is Thrall going to put down his turret? No, they're just going to give it up. They didn't quite get 10. Oh, it was so close though. They were definitely looking for it. Unfortunately, Arthas was coming up to fight, but not quite there.
And that camp thing you mentioned is actually showing up again, because their turret camp is right back up right now.
Yeah, it's so important to grab your turret camps early, or just as soon as possible. Not because you want the item, but because you want the camp to be up again at a convenient time, right? So we got 2 items for Amethyst and 1 for Reborn Knights. Making a rotation on the Arthas, who pops his army, but it is not enough. Hey, actually, he didn't pop it. I'm actually quite confused by that. Why didn't army get popped? That's interesting.
Between the camera gun?
Yeah, it is. So Arthas gets picked there. Not a huge deal.
Honestly, best time to get picked right now.
Yeah, I mean, but it does give Amethyst a little bit of an XP, which is the more important thing. A huge mosh pit for ETC. The Vala does not have the ult to follow it up, but it's not going to matter. The Jaina damage is there, and that's a 3 for 0. And the beast steps coming out from Amethyst. What a good ETC engage. Just Reborn Knights getting a little bit too greedy. Amethyst taking advantage of their little power play after taking Arthas down. And again, ETC getting aggressive on Arthas. The Jaina ult to follow up. It actually narrowly misses. This time Arthas pops Army. And what do you know? He makes it out. But Amethyst is going to siege down the top fort, which is very good for them, obviously, because this is where the objective is now.
Not sure about that turret drop, though.
Yeah, the turret drop was probably unnecessary, but they still have the item advantage.
And they have 13 going into this, too.